how often you try for mixes?
So it's supposed to be once a month.
Uh-huh.
But so far it has just been every carnival season with one or two in between.
Okay.
I know. Yeah.
So posting is your hardest thing, at least
Oh, for sure.
right now.
For sure. Yeah, because I have my full day life or day job.
Yeah.
So I try to deal with social media content when I can. If I go through the priority listing, I also have DJing that takes up time. So content just, falls right under that. So
Yeah.
I don't always prioritize it, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
We didn't intro you.
I know. Well, I didn't think we started
This is-
anything, right? We were
No,
just
I
chatting.
just
Sometimes just have a little preamble before. we do
I
the
know I was
intro.
questioning you before.
Mel, thank you for coming.
Thank
For those that
you
don't
for
know, Mel
having
is
me.
a DJ.
Yeah.
And you've traveled to DJ as well too.
I have in the past.
Which is
I have.
I feel like that's cool. I feel like if anybody could travel to do
Yes.
work, I was like,
Yeah.
Well,
cool.
true.
Yeah, because some people was just home.
Yeah. Actually, DJing for me even started abroad when I was studying.
Ah,
But that aside, my first international gig actually happened in Miami.
does that come in like an email or is it like
Well,
somebody
that
just calls
one,
you like, hey, yeah, there's I got your number from so and so.
that would have been
I need
you.
you in Miami like next week.
That happened for others, but this one in particular, actually, it happened through a friend of mine. So a really good friend of mine. His friend happened to be a DJ in Miami on the Latin dance scene, and I met him while visiting there. So checked it out. I'm like, okay, this is nice. And it just so happened I was going to Miami for Miami Carnival. That's
Okay.
it. So I thought, you know what? If I'm going to be there,
You're gonna play.
I was going to, yes, going
Okay.
to play girls trip, have a time for Miami Carnival. And
Yeah.
I thought, if I'm going to be there, I just decided to ask him. This is one of the very few times, that year in particular, it was all about facing my fears. So one of
Yeah.
those times where he said, you know what? If he says no, he says no. If not, but it wouldn't hurt to ask.
Yeah.
So I asked, I said, is it possible that I'd be able or get an opportunity to play while I'm there? And he's like, sure. That's the easiest show I got. I was so surprised. I'm like, what the heck? Like, I need to do this some more. So we set that up and I played in Frankie's, their club, really pumping on a Friday night. So they had me for the Friday night. And the interesting thing is he told me, okay, you could come, you could play or start for 10. So I thought, okay, right. So I got there and I'm thinking, a typical party in Trinidad, if they tell me that my set is about 10, I'm also expecting, okay, because it's the first time, they would put me in at an earlier time and you see people traipsing into the event and probably not see as many people when I get there.
Yeah.
This was quite the
house was
opposite.
packed.
So I got there an hour earlier than my time and the house was just packed. So as soon as I walked in the door, I completely forgot how to DJ. I'm like, wait, what you doing here?
What is this button called?
I had in mind songs that I wanted to play. Everything just went out my head. But anyways, that was a short stint. So when I started, it turned out to be such a good vibe, such a good energy. And after I did that, he then asked me, because he was also responsible for putting on one of the biggest congresses in Miami. Bachateando, that's the name of it. And so he asked me, oh, you want to come play for Bachateando? I'm like, oh, sure. So that's how that started. And I think one thing just led to the next with that, because while I was there playing for Bachateando, somebody who also puts on events in Baltimore asked me, and it's a whole ripple effect.
Nice.
With that.
Oh, okay. So how does it lead up to DJing happen? Like before you could get out, like ask somebody, hey, what's the chances of me DJing for this thing? Because
you mentioned
if a friend asks me to do something that I know that they don't do, I'm not gonna say yes.
Oh, I was DJing for a while by then.
because you mentioned that you started in school in the States.
Right.
So where did that kind of stem from?
Yeah, so actually it was not in the States.
Okay.
It was in Samoa in the South Pacific.
Ah, okay.
So coming back to what you just asked, I never saw myself DJing, to be honest. It's not something I said, oh, I want to be a DJ when I grew up.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to be a triple threat like J-Lo,
Mm-hmm.
which would have been like...
What is J-Lo's triple threat?
I think she's gonna explain it.
I said that. I think I made it up, but I wanted to be a singer, dancer, actress.
Okay.
Right. You dance.
I dance, yes.
Right.
So I was very much into the arts, loved music. I loved music. Of course, I would sing a lot, try to think about beats, and I'd create songs in my mind and write lyrics. And I'm talking as early as primary school.
Right.
And that is what I had in mind. But I also blame that on the lack of representation. It's not that I would see a lot of females DJ, and it just wasn't something that I aspired to be. I just knew I loved music, and I looked at all the other areas that I could pursue the arts. Anything to do with music, I got involved.
Yeah.
However, when years after, right before I got a scholarship to do my master's in Samoa, of all places, prior to going there, I wanted to see what the dancing scene is like, because I was already dancing on our local dance scene, but just as a dancer, not as a DJ.
Yeah.
However, when I got there, they would have the same 10 songs most times on rotation, when you go to their socials. And because I loved music so much, and I also collected it, I had a lot of music with me. So then I think I offered them music. I have a lot of songs, if you want, I could share it with you and show. And that turned into me actually playing, and then turned into us putting on an event. So I DJ'd across there. That is how it started.
Mm-hmm.
Actually even came up with the name there because it was just a fun thing for me in the moment.
Yeah.
And what happened, one of my friends who would be one of the local Latin DJs here, when I came home, he was like, oh, you can't be DJing in a foreign country and then not do it in your own.
When you're home, yeah.
Yes. So he literally just put me on the flyer. Like an event he put it, and it just turned out to be a good experience, good feedback, and honestly, the rest was history after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was telling somebody earlier today that was gonna interview a DJ, and I was saying that I don't know of anybody that they wake up in the morning and they're like, I want to be a DJ. I mean, not like it's a bad thing. I respect the DJs. We all need music. I appreciate a good mix when I go out. But I feel like people never just I want to be a DJ. And as you're talking about, you don't really see the representation of, hey, I see this lady doing this thing and this is cool. This is like a job that I could potentially do now.
Right.
You don't have to inspire yourself even harder.
True. That is the truth, I think. I think more now you may hear people aspiring to be DJs, like the younger folks.
Yeah.
And I guess part of it would be actually seeing more people doing it. And it looks like the cool thing. But yeah, no, I don't think a lot of people just said that. Like, even for me, as I said, I didn't see it. However, when I started doing it, I was like, this is the bomb. I just really like it. And I put so much time, effort, money, energy into developing it as much as I can, because I could get into the whole breakdown of all aspects of DJing. So it's not just about going and press play.
Yeah.
So a lot of this goes behind it. But now I think, you see a lot of videos on YouTube, a lot of hype on social media.
Yeah.
So, people are like, oh, that look cool. And I think you have more people now saying they would want to do it.
I mean, I look out for mixes Especially those mixes where it's like, what do they call it? Not a hot box, that's weed. Was it like a boiler room?
Boiler.
Oh, boiler room, right? Yes, we
Like the
did.
boiler room is like
Yes, they
the
are really
DJs
good.
feeling themselves, and everybody's like, "Yo,
Yeah,
you
I
are
feel
killing
what
it,"
you're
and I'm
feeling.
like, "Bro, I don't really want to DJ, but this looks like fun."
It is. It is. It is. I remember. Not had. He's still a friend of mine.
He
Shamari.
finds out now that
KRL.
he's not your friend anymore.
No. Still a friend. They did something similar. The engine room a while
Locally?
back. Locally.
Okay.
I remember playing for one of them. Had the same hype.
Mhm.
We also in recent times, so that would have been the first time, but also Somali on TT Somali on Carlo Street.
Yeah.
We also did something similar, but it's that different because that was more about having a glass of wine and chilling in the back and people will DJ. So I have a few videos like that on
Yeah.
YouTube actually. So a similar vibe, but
Yeah.
a little different.
I mean, I
But
look at different ones where it's like
yeah,
there's the boiler rooms where it's like a lot of
a
jumping
lot
up,
of people.
and then there's also the other ones that are like very chill.
Very chill.
It's like the
yes.
backyard of some random business, and people are just kind of coming in, sitting down, talking.
Yeah.
They'll jump up a little bit and be like, "Okay, that's a good
Yeah.
transition," and then they like leave.
So what you thought? You liked it? You liked what you saw?
And of your stuff?
No. Of others that you see.
Yeah, I mean, we have DJ friends.
You do?
Michael Forrest is literally
yeah,
that is so disrespectful.
No,
Don't let your DJ friends see this.
No, so that's
Oh my god.
But in the same way how DJing is not necessarily like your main thing, it's like it is a part of your life, but
Right.
I also do this other thing.
Right.
I associate Michael with like directing and
Oh.
production.
I see him as a DJ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yes. Mystic
She's on
also
it.
does DJ.
Mystic also does DJ.
Wow. Yes.
Wow,
We have one.
He's
wow.
now finding out his friends that he's seen play live
Right.
DJ.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. This
wow.
yourself. Wow.
You said Mike and you said directing and film?
Yeah. It's
Michael
Michael
Forrest?
Forrest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
You were talking about people seeing DJ being the cool thing now.
Mm-hmm.
Could you talk about like some of the uncool things or like the behind the scenes of being
Oh,
a
the
DJ?
behind-
What does
oh,
that
wow.
take? Because you've been around for at least 8 years, 10 years?
10, 20.
The Instagram goes back to 20,
14,
like 18.
12.
So
yeah, it's about 12 years now, actually.
yeah.
Yes. But I would admit the 2018, it was one particular year when I said, Mel, you need to be serious about this Instagram thing. And that's when I actually started posting. But I was actually playing before that. And that's a good place to start with some of the behind the scenes, especially now.
Mhm.
It's not just about showing up and having a good set. DJs now need to have a social media presence. They need to have their information online because that's the first thing anybody would ask about. Like if before they book you, could I see the link? You could direct me to where I could hear your music and sometimes as well, those who may have a higher following
Yeah.
that, regardless of how they play, it's
You're gonna
really
have
the
a bigger
following
draw.
that drives
Yeah.
drives the desire to have them on your set. So with behind the scenes, you need to work on having a social media presence. I am not very good at it. People say that I am. But there's a whole lot more I wish I could do. But the technical aspect of DJing is also important and takes a lot of work. So for me, I went to a few schools, part of the Groove View theory, where I did some training under Lyle Waldron, who would have been Carbon the Element. You had Chacha. These were guys that played on the radio stations for, years before.
Yeah.
5Z1 Productions and also Rockstars. So I did a few training sessions. Ooh, and Star Broadcasting. I don't know why I did so many.
Star Broadcasting is in St. James.
Yes.
Okay.
I did a few things with them, but I did DJing with them. I didn't intend to because I did it before, but then I just say, you know what, let me,
Yeah.
go ahead and do it. But what I did with them was actually production, music production, and broadcasting.
Yeah.
So yeah, so with that aspect of it, the technical side, scratching or being able to transition, that takes some technical skill and practice. So you have to practice that. And transition, like making the transition sound fun and cool and hip. You might have a little loop here or a sound effect here, not just drop a sound effect and then play the next song, but you might, So all that takes work. Library management is a huge thing, and to me, the biggest time consumer there is. I have been managing my library for as long as I've been DJing.
What about it is super important, library management?
Well, your crates, the way you have your crates laid out, the workflow needs to work best for you.
A crate is?
Oh, sorry. So a crate would be, it's like a folder within whatever application you use to DJ.
Okay.
So I use, and this is if you, like most DJs now would be playing on, with apps and not live vinyl anymore.
Yeah.
Right. So the picture having a folder with songs, particular folder, we refer to those as crates.
Okay.
So I may have an R&B folder / R&B crate with a list of songs that I have there, or I may name my crate, which I tend to do based on some moods. So I might be like, the whining crate.
Right.
Or, I have one that I call the Big Maxi Days. Where everything you remember hearing in Big Maxis back at that time, like I have those songs in there.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to help you when you're in the middle of doing a set and you have that vibe. You're like, oh, I want to go here. You search for your crate, and in that crate will have these songs that you could pick. So even setting that up, it's not that you set it up once and that's the end of it. To me, you're always updating, you always organizing songs, you always have to keep yourself abreast with the new hits. That takes a lot of time. It really just, it takes a huge chunk of DJing, in my opinion. What else I touched on? I think, actually being present. So being able to read a crowd when you're out, that is another aspect that takes a lot out of the art of DJing. It takes a lot from you, but it's fun actually. It's one of the fun parts of it. So you could read the crowd and say, all right, they're enjoying this. You feel them, yes.
Yeah.
Like they're feeling this vibe. Okay, I'll go here. Or it could work the opposite. I mean, you're like, okay, they're not really feeling this. Let's
not enjoying this.
Change it up quick.
Yeah, when you know to read a crowd, it's
very
like
important.
the best thing.
Yeah, I've seen times where, and this might be before I started DJ, because I love to dance, I also like being out. And you go somewhere and there's people just not feeling it, but you look up and you see the DJ like.
It's like, bro, read the room. I
hope to never be like that. I try my best to always look up. Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. And then and also kind of portray that fun mood, because I think for me sometimes when you get in the zone, I might have this serious demeanor, but I'm really in the zone of trying to play the best for the crowd that I have forward. So I'm thinking, but serious face. So I had a period where I really had to work on, hey, smile while you're doing this smell. Or, remember to enjoy it and dance and enjoy it while I do it. I hope I didn't leave anything out, but yeah, so I think I covered most of it there. Library management, the actual skill of DJing and transitioning. Of course, social media presence, the gear. So the other part that the not so pretty side of DJing is that it costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot of people if they know that. but the
I
gear,
would like to think so.
yeah.
A laptop is expensive alone.
Yes,
Then
a
you have your
laptop, that's
deck.
just one thing.
Yeah.
Yes, so, um, yeah.
Why do DJs have like what feels like older laptops? I feel like
Everybody has like a 2016
yeah,
Mac.
they never have like current laptops is always like
Or like me, I
I
have
feel like
22.
to have to be a DJ you need to have at least a 10-year
You
laptop.
still have the MacBooks with the light on the Apple logo
And
still lighting up.
no, but this is like a thing that
No, but
I see.
I've also
So I don't
observed
know if
that.
this is like a criteria where it's like,
Or
hey,
maybe it's just like a
you're not a
software
real
thing
DJ, but
where
your thing.
No, I laugh so hard because the laptop I
oh, it
have
has the
is
light in
my,
the
yeah, it's a
on the Apple.
2012 MacBook Pro,
Is it
which
because you
is,
just use it and it just works? Or is it like you don't want to upgrade and everything might just break?
well,
Or
I'm
like
actually at the point where I'm transitioning. I have to.
okay.
But what I will say with that model in particular, it it just did the job well and it lasted because I have a 2015 which I got after, which is also good. But a lot of the models that came after, they just started to have issues. Like you'd
Okay.
hear other people mention, okay, you know what, I'm going back to my 20, to the older model. And this is also a thing that I think would have been a huge part of it. The older models, you could upgrade or change
Or you could
the
change out the
memory.
hard drive.
Yes, correct.
Okay, gotcha.
Correct. So I did that with mine actually.
Right.
Whereas
You just had to buy hard drives.
yes. So the one that I have coming next cost me a lot. A lot. Because I didn't want to have a USB, not a USB, sorry, an SSD drive attached to it when I'm playing all the time, which I know a lot of people
Oh,
do.
So you
spending
bumped
money.
up.
I did, and I'm like, what the heck? This is
Like this
too
pushing.
much.
This is like pushing comedy. What's
But but I have this thing I like to say. I say, for the love of music, Mel, for the love of music, we're doing it. For the love of DJing, let's, So I bit that bullet.
Yeah. We told to bite the bullet.
I think, well, how do you go about telling a story through music and not just spamming what is the most popular song? Because I see a lot of newer DJs that's like, not really sure how to weave this, as I said, mood properly and how to like basically start your climax and then all right, we can end off. I know what everybody like. Everybody was playing the song. I'm just gonna play these 10 songs for my whole entire set.
I honestly think, and you're right, I think a huge part of being a really good DJ is being able to tell a story with your set. For me, I think where I started initially within the Latin dance space, it would have been a nice progression to get to that because I had to do that. It was never about, yes, you're playing the hits or playing what people knew, but that was a lot more about introducing dancers to new music.
Okay.
So you took this joy in being able to drop something new, and then you see the reaction, and then somebody will come and say, hey, what song was that? Like, I really enjoyed that. So that is what that life would have been like.
Right.
However, I know, and I focus a lot more on mainstream and everything else being an open format.
Yeah.
Because well, that's another story now. Local Latin space, it got really saturated. And plus I wanted to do more. I wanted to do more within open format DJing.
Yeah.
And so I focused a lot more energy there for a bit. And I just transferred that same approach.
Right.
However, I think when you really deliver it like a story, you see the mood and how it transfers and how it transcends with everybody. And I think it's much better than just you come in with the known hits. They hear all this already. So yeah, okay, you get a hype here, or they may have this might be the third time they hear it for the night.
Yeah, because it have been a DJ before you or something.
Yes. Whereas with something new, and when you scan, you scan in the audience, you see, okay, what's this? They're curious. You pique some curiosity, and then you could still also include the hit songs in between, and you build up to the hype, and then you have that moment where you could take the crowd down, ease it up a bit. But I think for me, a lot of the audiences I play in, it is extremely important for me to do that.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of mixed audiences, so I have to find a way to just bring everybody together. And telling a story with the music is the best way, I think. I feel so. Yeah.
What is one of the biggest lessons when you were now up and coming that you had to learn to manage or juggle?
Wow. So this biggest lesson is actually tied to my biggest life lesson as well, which would be try your best not to give much or two hoots. Let's keep it PG.
Okay.
About what other people think. That was a huge problem for me.
Yeah.
I would be like, okay, all in my head, like I would be playing and thinking, oh gosh, like these people looking at me kind of funny. And really and truly, they're not even taking me on like that. They're enjoying the music, but you're so concerned about if it's sounding good, if they're enjoying the music. And I will do this thing after, and I think I still do it to some point, to some extent. After a set, I'll ask, so how was that? How do you think it was? And I almost felt like I needed everybody's validation that, yeah, you really did a good job, Mel. And so the lesson would be, go out there, do your best, be confident in what you deliver, and just do that.
Yeah.
So it took a while for me, but I learned that. To some extent, I still have to battle the being concerned about what other people think, but that is more in settings that I am not as familiar with.
Right.
Versus there are some that I'm, you're familiar with the crowd, familiar with playing in that space, so it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
But anytime I hit a new crowd, I have to fight that in the back of my mind.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about how do you. I was gonna follow up with how do you deal with criticism, because I feel like anything creative, a lot of people judge it quickly, but it's also the people who don't or not involved with it some of the biggest critics. It's like, have you ever made a mix before? Or have you even created a song? Have you sat down in a studio? Or have you even stood up behind a camera and come up with a concept to take a picture? Then you're like, oh, this picture was terrible. Tell me why it was terrible.
Why was it?
Tell me.
What did you do?
What have you learned to know that this is terrible? How do you manage criticism or critiques from people that they don't really know what they're talking about? But
True.
You kind of still take it as like, I hear you.
Yes.
Thanks for your thoughts.
Yes. I mean, I wouldn't lie. For me, and because I already shared what my issue would have been, it would generally be hard. More so in the past, I've grown way more confident in myself and what I do now. So it took a lot of paying attention to the positives that most times, 9 out of 10 times, outweighed the one negative comment you may hear or see or pay attention to. So it is really, I think I'm really paying attention to the positives surrounding that.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure with anybody, same creative, one person come with a negative comment, it is under a few right above that would have said something very positive, or right below a few others that said something positive. So it's really just taking it with a pinch of salt. Now, I also like to pay attention to the criticism. I'll be like, okay, why they said this? I assess it because sometimes it might be the truth that somebody really wants to tell you and you need to hear it. So I will pay attention. I'm not one who would be close off the criticism. I would take heed, but try my best not to take it to heart. Yeah. And that would be advice I give to anybody in that creative space, because you're right, they may not know what they're talking about, but it's easy for them to criticize. So just pay attention. There may be some truth to why they're saying what they're saying.
Yeah.
If you can learn from it, then great. If not, then you toss the rest. You just move on, look at the other positives that you are also receiving, I'm sure, and focus on that. Focus on that and keep pressing on and keep moving forward. Yeah.
Why are you watching me?
I don't know. I thought you
I
was
don't
going
know,
to
I
say
just-
like you. So you can like if you
I
get
just
ready to
agreed.
say something.
He did.
I
He
just-
looked like you get up to say something.
I just
like-
felt you in the corner of my eye, just like,
No, you look like you're
I
getting
just
up
felt
to
you
say
do
something.
this. Why are you listening to me for?
No.
Our executive producer, ladies and gentlemen.
That's Portia. You can't tell her because she's too far. But yeah, as Portia asked, I guess, how do you balance full-time job and DJing? Because it takes up a lot of time to be on top of things. You want to post on socials.
Yeah.
All of these, like when you go to events, that's time as well too.
True.
How do you balance the lifestyle?
So I most times try to develop a nice rhythm. However, as I explained to most people, I generally have shifting priorities. Most times, my day job, top priority, that is what finances everything else. So there were times in the past, like you may see a dip in how often I'm present online or how often I even show up at events. And it would be like, and this particularly, this would have been the case with the 2 jobs, at the last. A former job I had in the past where I really did not have the time or energy to do most of anything else.
Yeah.
But I understood that that's the space that I was in. I had a mission and a goal where that was concerned, so it would have been a priority then. It just so happened that after that, there was a shift in priority where I put a lot of energy and time into developing my DJ brand. And to be honest, it was a point in time where I felt like, Mel, I think you need to do this now because this is yours. And I had to really give my craft the energy and respect that I think it deserved in that time. Because for a lot of time, I really just looked at DJing as a side hobby. And year after year, I see that this side hobby has been doing a lot for you. You have consistent gigs and callbacks, and you have opportunity here, but you're really not giving it your full efforts. So when I focused on that, I really saw the benefit in doing that. But generally, so like even now, I started a new job recently. So again, it's that balancing shift. But the work and energy I put into DJing prior to that, it helped with where I am now so that I could ease up on certain things and give the work that time. But it's always a constant making sure I have the right balance with day-to-day functions, weekly functions, with everything that I have to do, because life has a lot of different aspects that would make you who you are, would make me who I am. So even though we mentioned my day job and DJing, there are a whole lot of other things. I have friends, you have relationships that you want to maintain and give energy and give the time of the day. So I try my best to communicate as much as possible when I can't give time and energy in certain places, or if there's a shift. But as much as possible, like make sure that every work, my day job, that's usually first, and then right after would be the brand of DJing that I commit that time to. And right now I'm in the process of making sure that I set the amount of time that I'm going to commit to anything that I need to do. So set the amount of hours you're going to put into library management. Set the fixed time with practice, with improving my skill, because I don't know, like that never changes. I always need to improve on something. And social media presence too. Like So it's really just trying my best to balance everything and give everything the time that you allot it and respect it. So when I'm at work, I'm at work. I focus on that. When I'm in the DJing zone, I'm DJing. When I'm dancing and giving it that time at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the best way I could explain that.
Yeah. No, I think it's good that I don't know. I don't know how I feel about work-life balance. I just feel like it's a focus on whatever you can at the time and it kind of figure itself out. If I'm doing work, I'm doing work. If I'm doing life, then I'm doing life. And
Yeah.
somehow because you'll just trade off one for the other. To pick one is to not pick the other one,
True.
and you just kind of have to move with it
True.
as it goes and kind of sacrifice, I
And
guess,
to me,
in a
it
way.
helps. I'm sure it helps doing both because sometimes people may think you need to have one or the other. And I think, well, the personality I have, I think that balance is important for me. Like if I don't do any one thing, I'm not living my full, like my life doesn't feel as fulfilled. So the balance is important for me. But for other people, they just can't. It would just be work and they're not necessarily interested in doing anything else or any extracurricular activities. And that's fine. That's just how they are as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Was there a time?
You're smiling with this.
No, I was
comment?
just thinking. Was there a time where I'm just thinking, like, I feel like DJs end up in the most random events sometimes. And like, what was the most random event you might have ended up in?
DJing?
DJing.
Well, that's a hard one because, most times I know ahead of time. I would say the teenager birthday party. For me, granted, I did one recently, and that one was not as bad as the one I have in mind, which would have been years ago, where I set out to go to play, and then I'm just like, I can't connect.
Yeah.
As much as I would with other genres, with what a lot of the younger folks, the younger generation listening to now. I remember once playing for an event that had, this would have been a charity event. This is not the random event, dude, but just shooting an example of what that feeling was like. And normally I would ask them, so what you'd like to hear? Because this is a charity event that I would do from time to time with Kara loves kids. Kara loves kids, Kara Daniel. Shout out to her. And I will ask the children, so what would you like to hear? Like, what songs? When the lists come out and I start to look at these songs, I'm like,
yo, kids.
Exactly. I'm like, I don't think I could play that. Like anything else. So
Came on 6.
So even with the years back in that teenage event, it was just, I think more a difficult event for me to play at.
Yeah.
Now I think it's much better. I think I can do much better now, but those are usually the challenging ones for me. So that's the only thing that I would say like would have been random. If anything else comes to mind, I don't know. I'll let you know.
How do you deal with like issues on the day?
On the day?
Like we say, like laptop not working.
Oh gosh.
Oh.
Well, that happened to me in New York. Or wait, what else are you going to say there?
Oh no, I was gonna say, like the deck not compatible with the software that.
Actually, deck.
Do you not roll with your own deck?
Easy. Pardon?
Do you not go with your own deck, or sometimes you use the deck
but sometimes, yeah. Most times I ask, you check to see what they have and if it's one that I would be comfortable with. Because I could play on anything. Sometimes I just prefer to walk with mine because it's just comfortable and you're sure it's going to work.
Yeah.
But if a deck you show up, I might have to install any moment. That is okay. But what actually happened to me in New York, huge event, I would have been one of the opening DJs for New York Salsa Congress. So a lot of the international gigs I had would have been surrounding Latin dance space because the world network, it's huge.
Yeah.
Like, and so fun. Like, you all must try dancing at some point.
I went to salsa class in Connecticut, out of all places.
Look at that. How was it? I'm sure
great.
you had.
I had a blast, and up to this day, the guy.
He seems surprised.
No, because like even the teacher messages me to this day. He's like, "You coming this week?" I'm like, "I don't live there, but when I come up again, sure. Wednesday I'll be there. I'll come through."
Yes, it's a huge international network or connection. It's a family. It is really good. I would recommend it for anyone. Anyway, so with the New York Salsa Congress, that was a big event. They're launching it. I'd have been one of the opening DJs for it. Actually, was not even in New York at that time, so I flew in for it. Mm-hmm. And as I got there, and I opened my laptop, I saw this big question mark. What is this? So of course I called a friend. You always have that one friend who might be a bit more like versed in with
problems.
computer related issues.
Yes. I said, listen, I'm seeing a question mark. What is that? I said, that's not good. That doesn't sound. I'm like,
this color question mark?
That's not good.
Don't have any good news for you.
Me. And I am like, no, man. No, not of all events, this.
Yeah.
So I prayed very hard that night, I would admit. I prayed. I was telling somebody, I don't know what promise I made to the good Lord at that time, but I feel like I did. I think I did. And I hope I kept whatever promise it was. Because honestly, the laptop, it came on. I had a plan B. Yeah? I mean, I had my hard drive with me as well, which is a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
And then you use another. I would have had to use someone's laptop and play from it. But that didn't have the set that I prepared for this. I mean, this is New York. Yeah. This is the first time they're going to hear me. And believe it or not, the laptop worked for that gig for the night. It worked. And then when I closed it to go home, it did not come back on. Afterwards. It did not.
It gave you like our last hoorah, and I was like, yeah.
And then I was like, I'm like,
it's like, all right, after this one promise. Yeah. One last piece out of this computer, and that's it.
But yeah, so the best way to combat that is always being prepared. So my backup, if it did not come on, I would have used my external drive and play. What's interesting, I just before coming here, I saw this on social media about Private Ryan. He played in New York and forgot his laptop in the Uber, and luckily for him, he got it back.
Yeah.
But you could imagine that, like, you have to go.
Yeah, the most important thing.
Yeah.
The laptop.
My car in New York is.
Yeah.
I mean, in an Uber is fine because you could track it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in a random yellow taxi.
A yellow cab.
Gone. I've been to New York many times before, as you could tell.
I ended up, to be honest, purchasing part of a library. Mm-hmm. In addition to some songs that I know I had. Because the Latin, I couldn't purchase that from anybody. That is stuff I curated over time. Mm-hmm. But there are some hit songs that, the popular songs that everybody used to that I couldn't find. And I'm like, you know what? Some DJs do that, and they would sell library. And the reason I did that is just to search. So when a song comes to mind, I would search it. But that did not help my Latin cause. So luckily, I still had to go through all the information I had and resort and reorganize. But now how I store and back up my music, I really back up the systems too. So I have everything in a much better organized fashion. So yes. So it makes it easy to back up, and then I hope I never really have that happen to me again. But But if it does, I'll be ready.
How do you purchase a library? How does that work?
Yeah.
So in this case, when the person sold it, they use, was it Google Drive or Dropbox,
And
the
they
whole
just send you
thing.
a link.
Yeah, they just
So is it
like you
that
pay them.
they just make
They
So
list
curate
of
they
like a
did
songs.
the work
bunch.
and
They
they
curate a list
had
of songs and then they just sell that.
yeah, so they had folders with songs. Now the thing about that then though, I am not real it's not really my
It's like I don't know what
curation.
half of the songs sound like, but I have
Correct.
to
So
sit down and
that
listen to
took
them.
work too. So the reason I did that was really to complement me still
Okay.
putting my stuff together and finding it all over. But what I noticed after losing everything the first time, it really crippled me a bit in some gigs and some events because you're really trying to find something and I'm like,
It's
oh
like, oh,
gosh,
this song would
I
fit
can't find.
perfectly here, but
Yes, I can't
can't
find it.
Yeah.
That is the worst
Yeah.
thing ever. Like
Okay.
you're searching, like, ooh, this mood will go, and I couldn't find it. So that was my reason. It was really a throwback folder with certain things I know. Okay, let me if I purchase that. So I purchased this library in addition to me still working towards finding my songs wherever they were, and that helped. So it really would be if I think about it and I search, it may not be the one I'm used to, but I find it. I find a version of it. But even that came with its own challenges because I find I still need to go through and remove stuff and really sort through.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's better to build, I think, from scratch.
You're right.
So with the new purchase I explained to you, all that costing me a lot of money.
Yeah.
With that laptop, I plan to
Start
yes,
again.
start afresh. Only move stuff a bit at a time, and before I start playing again with it. Before I start playing with it.
And you keep your songs on the laptop itself.
Yes, and I back it up with an external drive. But I like to
Right.
have the music on
On
the
it?
yeah.
How
I
come
just
that and not just have it off of the external drive and
Plugged
so
in.
my thinking is I don't really keep anything on my computer other than the apps that I need.
right.
Same.
Because at least the drive that we have now, the more stuff you have on it, the slower it
Right.
runs.
Yes.
So I just keep everything externally and I have a
Right.
backup home as well.
Right.
So I have like a working drive, then I have a backup home. So
Mm-hmm.
that'll always just kind of live there. So that
Right.
will always have this feel like my laptop should always feel like I bought it yesterday.
I understand that. I understand that. The thing is, what I'm afraid of with playing using an SSD drive, anybody knock that table, anything
eject.
happen,
I guess
like
yeah, you
it.
are around people that are drinking too. And
Yeah, it's the risk of it. Now I know a lot of people do it. I have not gotten over that risk yet. But I actually have one laptop strictly for DJing. So all that has is music and just for DJing, and then another for everything else.
Right.
So to help that, because I also didn't want a lot of other apps slowing the
bunch of
laptop that
clutter.
I'm
Yeah.
using to DJ. So yeah, so but even with just music, it takes up a lot of space.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
So I'm assuming that you'll have different drives for different genres of music.
Well, not drive. Well, different folders, but
Well,
they all more or less in one drive.
okay.
Yeah, I keep it in OneDrive. What I do, so I mentioned before doing a little production, I use another laptop for that, the second one. And with that, you keep music you're looking to build separate from, music
one
that
that you're
they're
actually
to
gonna
play.
play.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Music and everything else.
Yeah. You mentioned that you mostly play Latin music. Where did the love or why Latin music specifically you were drawn to?
The thing is, I loved all types of music, so it was not just Latin, but I loved to dance.
Yeah.
And eventually, over time, I started Latin dancing consistently and, just fell in love with it. I tell people, once you see that bug bite, there's no going back.
Yeah.
So it really was about the passion for dance first and just getting familiar with the songs that everybody fell in love with, whether it be bachata, salsa, and eventually when kizomba came on the scene, even though that is not Latin music, it's still part of the social dance scene.
Yeah.
And yeah, it really just developed into me playing, as I explained when I went away. And I already had the music.
Yeah.
So when I came back, it was really just to play for my dance community. And I don't, in aspiring to just get better at DJing, I really then explored the possibility of playing in other areas, other places. I could do it. The music's still there. I still love it.
Yeah.
I could still think about, oh, let me bring this song here because you're familiar. Yeah, and I just needed to develop the confidence to do it. So, like Latin music took time to build. I started, putting myself out there to play at other events, and then I'll continue to get referrals, which is happening now. Where I get referrals to play at different events that are non-Latin, and I am happy about that because I wanted to come out of that box a bit. Especially as a lot of people be like, oh yeah, you're the Latin DJ. I say, yes, I am, but I can play other things.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I am still very passionate about dance and music. So I'll still go out. I'm not as present on the dance scene as much because I'm super busy. But as much as I can, once I can get the time, I go and show my face.
Oh, okay.
How did you go about creating your persona or personality? Because each DJ has like a sort of personality or I don't know what something that is just like specifically
like a Sasha, like a yeah, I don't
it's
know.
almost like a I don't want to say alter ego, but it's almost
what I was
it's almost like I guess I think Diplo his name is Wes, but you know Diplo as the DJ. How did you go about creating that?
So that one, I find it was pretty tricky for me. And I think it's something I'm still working on even to this day because Melissa, I think could be very laid back and, chill. And sometimes that may not always work in my DJ space and for the DJ persona. So I tried my best to be very intentional about treating when I DJ as a performance. So I have performed a lot in the past. And sometimes, like, I had to force myself to, make sure that you smile, even though I enjoy it. Like, I would have been nervous and thinking about everything else in my head. And I'm like, no, Mel. Melissa could think about those. Mel T, you need to put on the Mel T performance hat and you go out there and perform and do what you have to do. And I started treating it like that. So I sometimes even with how I would decide to dress, just be a tad, you step out a little different than how I would on a normal go lime hang out with friends. So that at least Melty could have a different presence somewhat. So yes, in some ways a little also ego, but not too far from what I am actually. Just more of a performance presence. Which I think well, I wouldn't know, but I assume that most artists that when they hit this stage, that is how they approach it. Yes.
Yeah, because they give so much when you're in front of people that you just do the energy.
Yes.
I just want to drink some water.
When you don't have to be turned on, you're just kind of like,
that is so true.
Because even like meeting some DJs and meeting some artists is like, bro, I see you on stage and you're like so hype, and then I expect you to like be so hype when you come off stage, and I'm like,
it's not
like, you're good. I was like, where was that?
No, I get that all the time. Or even when I see people out of the limelight, they're like, "You're a DJ."
I just gave you an hour of my energy.
I'm jumping up, bouncing off the wall right as I come off stage.
Yeah. No. It's like a completely different personality. Yeah, that even as I said, they would ask you're a DJ, and I could tell it's because they don't expect that from me when they see the other version. They're like, or the reverse would happen. Like, I've had a case where I remember playing for a boat ride once. And when I showed up, I'm there, typical Melissa. And after I saw this shock, I see that a lot. Actually, I like seeing it as well, where you see this shock happen where they didn't realize. And I remember one of the guys saying, wow, I did not expect that from you at all. So that's why I also try to work on the presence when DJing so that at least they could say, okay, all right.
Maybe that could be your thing though, like the shock of like.
Maybe. Yes, I'll just continue with that.
Yeah, because you don't have to, I think, play it up. Because some people, like, when you see them, you're like, he look like he gonna perform or do something like in the stage area or whatever. Like maybe that could be your thing where it's like
it doesn't look
coming
like
very calm, cool. When you're on stage, you're entertaining.
True. That's true. Yeah.
So,
be shocked, have a little shock factor. Maybe. Yeah. But yeah. So even it's a lot of work, I think, sometimes to just think about how you're going to present yourself to an audience. Like, in different settings. So even like what I decide to wear, how I decide to put the hair. Now I like to dress, I like my makeup, I like different things. So I still like to do that. And then sometimes I just try to push myself a bit further for DJ Mel T. Yeah.
Sorry, you were talking about the question mark on the screen, and I was supposed to ask you. There was a time where, like I told you, I watched the boiler rooms and stuff.
Right.
And sometimes somebody would like come up and like spend the desk or whatever.
Oh gosh.
Does that ever like happen to you? Because I saw a video recently where it was a videographer recording a set of a DJ. And he was gonna send the guy the footage and like cut it up and everything. I was like, all right, okay, that's cool. Because I like those videos, like a set like that, put it up on YouTube. I don't really have to think for the next hour of what kind of music I want to hear.
Right.
Put on like the genre,
right.
This mix. So the guy
genre specific, specific mix.
Afrobeat.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Like what genre mix, and then whatever comes up, I'd have to think for the next hour of what music is gonna come out. Just like leave it there. The guy did a post like thing. I was like, I shot this event and I was trying to figure out why I'm missing a camera angle. So he has a camera facing here and a camera facing the DJ. So from the back angle, you see somebody literally take off the camera. And I'm just like, oh, okay, at least you know what happened.
Oh my God, somebody took it off?
Yeah, somebody took off the camera. And then I went to the comments and other people were like, yeah, one time I was shooting an event and the people literally picked up the camera, walked around the whole place, and then dropped it back for me. And I was like,
oh my God.
You know what? I was thinking about shooting a set, but no, really, I don't want to anymore.
No, you might have to like give a fair warning with whoever's behind. Yeah. I thought you were going to ask me if anybody ever played with the jug.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. In the same sense, like,
has anyone like come and interfere with your equipment whilst you're?
I've had that happen. Yeah, I have. So, I mean, I've had it happen with friends where we like down to the end of a party.
Which one is it?
And when they grab the mic or you give them the microphone, you know.
Yeah.
And after a few and they press this and they hear the I'm like, listen. But not in a serious setting. I mean, they wouldn't do that. It's really in our fun vibe setting. I've had that happen. I have had an occasion though where this is kind of funny though. Hoppy Kate was at an event where I was actually DJing Latin, and you know, he mic'd for me, and there is a button when you press it, you could either get the sound effects. But for me, how you have it set up. You could have it could be different. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that one of the buttons for me is it would have been where you send the music backwards. Right? So, but the thing is, I could not remember what I had to press to get this to correct it, right? But at that moment, it was just a complete blank. So I remember, you know, Mike, he was just micing for me in the moment and pressed it, and I was just like, what is happening? And I'm like, okay, how do I fix this? And it took me a moment, but I got it eventually.
Yeah.
But that was one other occasion I remember it happening. But again, my the Latin community is very forgiving. Something like that happen, no problem.
Yeah,
we laugh about it. Yeah. You know?
Is there an MC for the Latin community or?
So
every time I go to an event, I'm used to
a mic man,
DJ, mic man, or hype man or something.
To be
But I'm like,
honest,
what is it
dancers
like
don't
in
like it.
no?
So it happens. So we have a few DJs who would mic in between, or you hype the crowd every now and then.
Yeah.
But dancers, they really want to hear the music to dance. So
okay.
even if you are doing that, you can't overdo it. So it's not
Yeah.
much about like, hyping throughout the song because they are going to look at you like, what you doing?
Yeah.
The same way if I mix songs too early
Mhm.
in the Latin dance
Oh, before
scene,
you get to the good part.
no, can't do that one.
Big no.
No. You also cannot, because there are times that I would mix like one song to the next. You can't do it beyond 3 songs. That's my rule. You do it beyond 3 songs, somebody who danced with the wrong person for those 3 songs will watch you like, what is going on? Like time to change, because the way dances would work, you dance with one person for a bit, and
Then you
after that
switch,
song
yeah.
you switch.
Yeah.
Yes, you switch when you dance with somebody. But then, like if I'm doing a kizomba set or a merengue set, I might mix one into the next. Or any of these sets.
Yeah. So it's like, okay,
I
I've been
might
dancing
decide
with
to
you
just
for
go
about
into a
15
whole
minutes.
mixing zone,
Yeah.
and I could even come from the standpoint of being a dancer. They would want to switch,
like,
and it
I
may
just
feel
waiting for this
weird.
break to
Correct.
to
So
the
if they
next
don't
person.
get the break, you would start to get the eyes like, "Ooh, this happening long."
Yeah.
But if some of them might recognize it and still switch, but then there are some who wouldn't.
Yeah.
So it's just some of those like underlying rules, I think, where the dance fraternity is concerned, that would be very different to if I'm playing somewhere else or in another setting. Yeah. But yeah, that is it is all part of it.
I never really thought about that, because when I did go to the salsa class, it was like, so here's what we're doing, people. For those who've never been here,
Right.
we don't stand up with one person.
Yeah.
So like kind of form a line and kind of just
You're
did like a conveyor belt.
It's all part of the community. And that way nobody like could feel left out, or they're not part of the dance. And we even kind of encourage people not to, I mean, you could say no, but you're supposed to have a very good reason if you're saying no. But generally, if somebody takes that effort to walk all the way across the room and ask you to dance in a social, the polite thing would be, you kind of have to say yes. Unless, as I said, if it's for some other reason that you would have to say no, like your own personal reasons, but it kind of frowned upon when somebody says no like that. And then what would happen? You would hardly get asked from anybody else, because they'll be like, "Oh yeah, this person blanking, this person blanking people."
Yeah. Fair.
You blank one
Oh, you got
person?
to know once, you said?
If what?
Oh, you just made you just use them as an example. I thought you got turned down from a dance before when he
No, remember, I
pointed
never
you.
went.
Yes, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I've never went. I'm scared.
You're scared?
Yeah.
No, don't be afraid. You can.
I think I'm okay.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
Yeah, I understand that. It's like, you already took number one fella. I ain't gonna be the second.
Exactly,
okay.
you see?
Okay.
You see?
I understand, yeah.
It come like and I guess sometimes it helps me understand the challenge that men may feel trying to approach somebody. Trying to approach because there's one DJ on the scene who likes to say, "Ladies, ask a man to dance." So then they're like, "Okay," but I don't know ladies to get turned down that at all, really.
You never get turned on before?
I don't think so. And if I did, it's because that silly person was really tired in the moment, or and then they would come, and that's the other thing. If you turn somebody down because they're tired in the moment, they will come and find you after. So I have, or I have if somebody else asks right before me, and they say, "Well, I promise this person dance." Okay. And then I went about to my dance with somebody else.
And they'll come back around.
Yeah, but the right thing in that case, they will find you after.
Yeah. So in that case, okay, let's say Jabari was interested in going to dance,
right?
Do Latin dancing. Like where? No, I was
saying, Jabari, you should come.
Where? Because like, see, for when I was in the States, my friend invited me out, like coming back to Trinidad, and I'm just like,
I don't go Island Bay on a Tuesday, on a Thursday.
You know that too good.
People
You know
know.
that. You know that
I'm
too
actually
good.
DJing there this Tuesday.
Okay.
You should come.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow I'm DJing there tomorrow. So they
Okay.
rotate.
I really said that as a joke, but I did. What happened? I went to hang out with like a friend or something.
Mhm.
There's a group of us. They went by one of the bars further down.
Oh, on the other
I
side,
was just
yes.
on one of the bar side, and then when we
Right.
were walking up,
Right.
I ended
Okay.
up seeing
That's
it.
why one would work with.
Yes,
And
in
I
one
couldn't
of
remember if it
those.
was a Tuesday or Thursday, so I just said the both.
It's Tuesdays. So Tuesdays you could come get your Latin fix. There's normally a little dance session before, and then social dancing after. And you have a lot of different places throughout the week, including South. We have, like I just mentioned, this in North. I know one friend just recently started one at the deck at Thursdays. Newbie is really pumping on a Wednesday. And a Sunday.
See what she said?
What?
She said newbie.
Yeah.
Remember when you were like, oh, you want to go out? And I was like, oh, we could go. And then you were like, oh, that's a restaurant. I was like, no, I think it's a club too.
Oh.
Yes.
Because I told you, I remember my friends saying that they go newbie. And I was like, you know what that is, but
It was also minutes to 12. I would say like,
oh no, it's fair.
I still have to try
It
the
was late.
restaurant.
basically, we went to play pool, and then after pool, the plan was just to go and play pool and then
go home.
So then one of the guys, he was like, I feel alive.
Yeah.
So it was like,
all right,
well, I guess we're in online.
Right there.
So we were like scrolling through all the places to go. Jabari was like, we could go to Nubia, and everybody was like, to eat soon? It was like, no.
Oh, they didn't know about the club part of it? No, yeah.
Well, I know because the guys at the gym would have mentioned it, so I was like, all right.
Yeah.
So I knew it exists. But when they said it, I was like, maybe I'm wrong.
No. Well, so there's dancing there on a Wednesday, but I've been there on a Friday to celebrate a friend's birthday.
Jumping.
And full on club scene. I was like, okay, all right. And it's not bad at all. It was actually really good. Yeah. And Val Park in that area, I find in recent times.
Yeah, well, we were planning to go there, and then everybody was just like, we're going home.
Yeah, really. Yeah, that happens sometimes too. Just like, you know what?
Because the rain also started before, so that didn't help the situation.
Yeah, your bed calling you at that time. Yeah. For sure. But
Okay.
That was my point. Snoopy is my spot.
So yeah, you can check it out.
What time are you there?
On Tuesday for Island Bay.
Yeah.
I play from 10.
On a Tuesday?
Yeah. So there's dancing before. Like a dance class. Usually start about 9.
I didn't think people on a Tuesday. I mean,
they do, do. And then, so for me, and this is all part of the balance of life because I have work the very next day.
Yeah.
So I would DJ from like about 10 to 12. Most times it goes beyond the 12, but they lock off around 1.
Okay.
For sure. And but I tell people this might sound weird, but anytime I have a gig the night before, the next day for work, I'm kind of real sprightly. Like after I sleep and get up, I find I have more energy than the other way around. If I'm just like home chilling, it's weird.
Yeah, because like when you work out, or you feel more energetic. But
I guess possibly. I guess if let's call it endorphins, if the endorphins for
maybe it's still still going. Because not consistently, we're not talking about 3 nights in a row here. Because you would definitely feel it after a while. But first night,
how do, in terms of like the business of DJing, where it's like, okay, turning this hobby into income, right? What are some of the challenges new DJs may face, going from hobby or passion to monetizing that hobby/passion?
Okay, so to share from my experience, I think a huge part would be actually getting to the point where you place a value on yourself, on your brand, on your skill. Because in the beginning, for most DJs, myself included, you played free a lot of times. We had a lot of free gigs. Yeah, and I would advise anybody new and upcoming, it would be a good way to get yourself out there for sure. However, you get to a point where you have to then decide, okay, what's my
birthday party?
Correct. And then not only that, some of it takes a lot of time and energy from you. So you have to put a price to that. And you have to decide how much you're worth, how much you look at the market. So in my case, for me on the Latin scene, we had more or less a rate going for Latin already, which would have been a lot less than some other DJs called in other places. But when I first started, I maintained that rate in the beginning. The challenge on the Latin scene and what I've seen happen, sometimes though you may have a case where, let's say you have a price or you have a standard price and somebody comes in free. I know there's always also that challenge where it pulls away, it kind of takes away from a small community like that, because they come in free and then it got to a point where people then feel like, okay, they had to reduce their price because they're not getting opportunities if you have other people either free or very low. And I hear that in the wider DJ space as well. But those who really work and get a name for themselves, they could call the big bucks. Because I know, like, when you hear names like Ryan and Selector Kerry, and when they call their fee, they call their fee. But when you're still building and coming out there, I try my best to negotiate and work a price. But I get to the point where there's a price I just don't go below, because I know now, my time is worth,
I can just sleep. It's fine.
Yes, I can sleep. It's fine. And it has happened. I've had cases where somebody called for a quote, and in the past, that it really used to be a bit challenging for me, where I'm like, oh gosh, you want to have this sale, or you don't want to outprice, but you want to put something to yourself, put value to yourself, but not lose the opportunity at the same time. So in the beginning, I used to be like that, always open to negotiation. I am usually. But then at some point, now when I put my price out, if somebody says, sorry, we got somebody who offered to do it for free, I'm like, okay, it really doesn't bother me. In the beginning, it did, because you want that opportunity to get out there. But when you see I have to throw these speakers down my staircase in the car, then to the venue, then take it out, then set everything up, then play for hours, then you are the last person, because you shut music down after everybody leaves. Then you take down everything, pack it back in the car. When I get home, to right back up the set. I'm like, no.
1:00 in the morning.
At 1:00 in the morning, at some point, that alone.
You can't tell me, 500 now.
Correct. So that would be attached to it. So now I'm at the point if somebody says that I'm okay, because that way I don't have to do all that. Okay, fine. I'm like, good. But I still really, really try my best to negotiate. If it's something I feel like, I would just like my opportunity to be present and get an opportunity to play. And it's I could still find myself doing a free gig now and then if I'm working on getting my name out there and getting the presence. But you just have a limit, and you have some that I must see an end game set or bonus to me doing that. But so the advice, coming back to somebody who is starting, yes, you will have to do that. It is expected at some point you'd have to more or less offer yourself to do free or very reasonable gigs to get there. But then you still need to get to the point where you recognize what you're worth, and then be able to set that price and stick to it.
Are you more inclined, to reduce your rates? I'm not saying this is, I don't know, standard practice or whatever. But like, say somebody's going to book you for, I guess, like Latin nights, where, it's consistently every month or so you have an event. Are you more inclined to, like, reduce the rate then? Or will you still be like, nah, there's my price?
No. In that case, if I see an opportunity for consistent bookings, for sure, I'll work with you. For sure. The one-offs, like a one-off, then, you more or less stick to the rate. Or I've had cases, I remember, where in the beginning, very lenient, very negotiable. And then that turned into a lot of other opportunities. So you never really know in cases like that as well. I think for me, a lot of it is case by case. Because I really had to fight myself. Many people were like, Mel, you need to raise some prices. I'm like, really? Yes, because
but I was the other guy trying to like, you charging how much?
Yeah, I was afraid, like, it's almost like I don't want to. And I think I don't like to blame, like, sometimes it's just not being assertive enough in certain spaces. Yeah. So I'm glad I'm at the point now when somebody asks, I more or less I could rattle it off with after enough people tell me that. I'm like, okay, this is this, I would say my rate, and then sometimes I shouldn't, somebody advised you shouldn't, but I'm open to negotiation because I am also aware that some people, they really just that they wouldn't have that in their budget. And if it's somebody I'm close with and I'm willing to work with like that, then I'm okay with working with their budget once it makes sense for me. Yeah.
So little tip, make friends with Mel. I feel like that's how it is sometimes with photography. I'm just like, I know you for a long time. Yeah, but I feel like some people want to be friends so that they could get worried.
Oh, really?
That's how it feels sometimes.
I never thought about that.
Or you ever get hey Mel, where to come to this event? Hey, don't forget to bring your setter. Like,
oh, I get that all the time.
I hate that.
Friends of mine. Oh my gosh.
I got that. Like, you're walking with your camera. Why am I walking with my camera?
I got that recently, and I was like, as a matter of fact, I'm busy on that day.
Really?
I don't want to come anymore.
But only really close friends of mine, like they know this. They're like, Mel, you bringing your stuff? And I don't mind because I actually have the best time playing for some of my close friends. Like we have a ball. It's just we haven't done something like that in a while, coming to think about it, but we've done the whole, a lot of yacht type, going down the islands, and I'm DJing for that. And it's just because I know them too, and I know the style, the vibe, it's so easy. Yeah. And we had a lot of instances in the past where, we just set things up and have a good time with music like that. Yeah. Obviously, there's no charge for that, just close friends. But same close friends would also refer me and or other opportunities would pay. But so I'd allow my close friends to say that, Mel, walk with your laptop. Or I'll be like, hey, I line in for this. I'm not. I'll be like, because that's the other thing. If I'm playing for the whole thing, it's you're not really
technically just working.
Correct. You're not necessarily in the line as much. So I try to mix it up.
In such a male-dominated space, how did you face any challenges kind of breaking into the scene, or you kind of was able, because you carved that your own path, it was, I don't want to say easier, but it faced a little less resistance?
So what I will say that for me, it gave me another drive or an underlying drive to ensure that I'm technically sound.
Right.
Now, as I explained, I didn't see myself getting into DJing like that. Yeah. And you're right, it is really a male-dominated space for sure. But I didn't want anybody to see, although I'm sure it said, because some things you just can't get away from. She got this because. Yeah. Or she got this opportunity because she's a female. So even if you say that, I want that when I play or when I show up for a set that I'm good. She's like, okay, okay, I understand why she said, she does a good job. So I'll always pay attention to make sure that at least my skill could show up at any event I'm at. Yeah. Because I'm very, very mindful of the fact that could be said. It's that's how I'd have to think, but it is actually something that I've thought about in the past. So a lot of those courses that I did that I explained earlier, that was actually the leading factor in the back of my mind, to be honest with you. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, no, I need to make sure that I on top of my game where these things are concerned. What I have noticed though, and I'm still working on it, I think a lot of my friends the DJs who, they they appear to be a bit more confident in person, I think, to just try anything. And it's something, and why I can say that, I have my group of friends. I'm the only female in that group, and we might show up to play, and of course they just go in and they're doing their thing. So if they're doing a scratch pattern, they go in at it. And I would always like be a little shy and be like, no, I don't want to do it. You want it to be kind of perfect before you do it. I'm like, why? They don't get. They're just going out there and they're doing their thing.
Yeah, because you have to figure out what works, right?
Yeah.
And you already know based on people's reaction. If it doesn't work, they're gonna forget.
And they would, and you get to that point where you take that chance in public, and you know it works. So I don't know why, and I'm not sure. I'm not fully sure if that's a female thing or is a male thing. It could be a male thing, but you know, and it's one of those things that I also had to pay attention to and just be like, listen, you know, you just need to go out there and do it. Like you know it. And I hear them say it all the time. They're like, Mel, you don't realize how good you are. Anything like just go and do it. Like, what are you so concerned about? So it could be a male thing. I don't know, maybe just be more confident to just like shoot your shot in the moment, like do what you have to do or whatever you feel to do in the moment. Yeah. And that's a huge part of the creative side of DJing, especially when you're doing transitions and these quick transitions and creative transitions. So yeah, I'll work on it. All
right. To wrap up. So we've been doing this thing where we ask somebody for advice for the next guest.
Oh wow.
But you don't know who the next guest is.
So I am asking them.
Sorry, you're giving them advice.
Oh, I'm giving.
But you don't know who the next person is. And the person that we had before was Romani, which is a photographer.
Right.
I went through what he said and I just kind of like condensed it. I also typed this by myself without AI, so I'm really proud. He said, in anything that you say, make sure the intention behind it will give you the results that you want.
In anything that I say, make sure the intention behind it would give me the results that I want. That's some good advice.
So then now you have to
give it to the next person.
Give it to the next person.
Wow.
And then maybe we'll do some rapid fire questions.
Okay, rapid fire too? Okay. So my bit of advice would be, continue, or not necessarily continue if somebody's not doing it, but be sure to live life for you. And you're typing too?
Yeah.
Because I know we may tend to get caught up in trying to please everyone else in life, where it's good to have a solid moral grounding and standing and do what is right in life. Also make sure that with everything you do, you're right by yourself. Like, you know, you're not living to please other people. Besides, I mean, if you're spiritual, of course, with your maker first, but also ensuring that, you know, you make yourself happy before studying other people and thinking about what they think about what you do. Yeah. I know those were a lot of words. I ramble at times.
No, that's fine. I'll condense
it after. You can condense that?
Yeah, I'll condense it after.
Okay, good. But I feel I need to take Romani's advice and write it. So
I can send it to you.
Send it.
I'll send it to Portia to send it to you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
This was great.
Yes, I had fun. Thank you so much for having me.
We'll link all of your socials below so that people can find it.
Yes. Yes, there are a few.
Yeah, that was Mel.
Oh, you were joking about the rapid fire questions?
You want them?
Oh. Let's see, let me see. I'll set first.
I didn't really probably said that.
You didn't?
No, I'll give you some.
Let's see.
Worst song right now, like that you hate to hear. Like you go out.
What is your worst song that you hate to hear? If you had
what kind of question is this?
No, like we're like, but I'm fed up hearing this song. Gosh, you know, like you're in off my ear with it.
Oh my gosh, that is so hard. That is so hard. One, because I really like a lot of different. I like a lot of music. Like every song is my song.
It have a song that people just beat to that is like, yo, yeah.
Well, for
Like,
me,
put it
any
down.
Latin space, you know what that would be is Suavemente, but I still like it. But like I
Yeah,
say
give
it.
Suave.
Sorry, yeah. But we have a running joke on the scene for that one. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. On the opposite of that, was your favorite one that you would like?
Ooh, the one that just popped straight into my head is Shensia. Talk to me now. And that's because I danced it recently and it just stuck. It's there.
Was like a underground song that you like listening to that you really like? Underground meaning like
The
not
artist
many
Yeah.
people know about it.
Not
Or
many people.
the
I'm
artist
sure it would have
even.
to come from my cousin, Will Gittins, although a lot of people know him. But I have to like music that would be from them and other independent artists in that space. So be sure to check him out.
Okay. Yeah, Manny?
So I mean,
That's
I don't know if it's right to say that, but with that, it would be locally because he has a presence outside for sure. But yeah, so, but if I don't say that, if not him, another underground, again, it would be in our Kizomba local space, which people out there wouldn't necessarily know. So there's this artist, and I cannot remember it because it's French right now, but one of his songs.
Okay. You have any
Sick song.
dancing icks? What is a dancing ick that you have? Or
A
you may have?
dancing ick, like if I'm dancing socially with somebody or dancing by myself, dancing
With somebody.
Socially?
with somebody.
Yeah.
Sweat.
Sure. Okay. I think that's fair.
Yeah, drip. Yeah, if it's dripping on me. Now I understand people
drip,
sweat
yeah.
is fine, but if it's
okay.
dripping on me, yeah. If it's sweating, it's fine. But if it drip on me, then that's where the ick comes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I had so far.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Not too bad. Not too bad with the rapid fire, I think.
Thank you again, Mel.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thank you. I appreciate
Again.
it.
We'll link all of your stuff below.
Right. Okay.
People can find you.
All
And
right.
hopefully book you.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Please. Thanks.
That's